What's happening, fishing friends? Welcome to another episode. I got a fun unboxing today. One I'm excited about because I had a 50% off code, got some Berkley stuff, some lures, some other things that you might not see today, but one coming soon. Anyway, some cool stuff that I think all of you will enjoy. So enough yapping, let's take a closer look. Okay, let's start off with something new. I've got kind of a few different things here. Some of these are newish last year. Some of these just come out, and that's what we're going to start with here. The brand new Fritz Side 5, but as you can see, this is the Clickin'. So these are the juniors. I only was able to get the juniors and the big in there, as you can see. Two different sizes. There is a size in between there, just the regular Fritz Side 5, but I was happy with these. I did throw the big in last year, actually the year before that, I think a little bit more, and I do like the size of it. I don't think I've thrown any of the juniors, but this is the Fritz Side 5 Clickin'. The regular Fritz Side 5s are silent, but that's the sound that you get out of this one. The juniors only run 2 to 5 feet, core rounds. This is going to be a good like pond, small lake lure. That happens to be the red spring craw color. I plan on throwing that this spring. I got a chartreuse blackback and then also a Kentucky blue. Really cool. It's got that like iridescent purpley blue color to it. In the big ones, I got the Midnight Pearl. That so far has been my favorite in just the regular Fritz Side 5. This color, had a lot of success with that. And on the Chapo, that color. Y'all know I had to get one of the root beer craws. This one they call Special Red Craw. Again, another good spring red craw color. And last, I got the Firetail Green Craw. Really cool, that orange and that kind of olive drab green. Those really contrast against each other really well. Cool color. Okay, staying with the treble hook baits, I also got some spy baits. Now, I've never thrown a spy bait. I have no clue what I'm doing with these. It's one of the lures I want to kind of try a little bit. I don't know how much of it I'll do. Again, just because I really don't know a ton about them, so I'll have to do some research and such. This color, though, they call Purple Bullet. Look at that. It's like a chrome dark back with like that purple throughout it. Really neat color, especially on like a sunny day. Stealth Perch, which is kind of like a transparent perch color. Purple Ice. Yes, I am a sucker for purple lures. And then Stealth Minnow. This kind of reminds me of the Ghost Color Minnow in the Lucky Craft lures, which is one of my favorite like natural, cleaner watercolors. Really, really like the look of that. Suppose I should cut that open and show you. If you've never seen a spy bait, they have these two little like propellers, one on front, one on back, good sticky sharp hooks on them. You know, kind of like a Finesse jerk bait deal, I guess. I don't know. I have to look into them more. Kind of a cool little deal. This is the 70, 2.75 inches, third of an ounce, and it is silent. So comment below, let me know if you do much spy baiting. Sure y'all are looking at these up here and wondering what I thought of them. I did have a really, really good day last year on this. I don't know, 15 or 20 bass on this black, blue, purple. BL Special is what they call it. On the Slobber Knocker. I like it. I think people have been pretty mixed on it. I know there's a lot of hardcore chatterbait fans that say, oh, there's no reason for me to switch. But I noticed with this Slobber Knocker, let me open it. With this Slobber Knocker, the blade doesn't have as much movement side to side. Now, that doesn't mean it doesn't click. You can see that the blade still hits the head. You know, the paint was chipping off there. You could see where it hit. But I think that's the deal, that it doesn't get hung up on wood as much. That's all that head can really move side to side. I know with the chatterbait, it can roll almost all the way to the side, this hook back here. I know some people made some comments about the skirts like, oh, it's stuck together, that looks like crap, but it's because these are the power bait infused, and I thought, well, you know what, maybe it's going to make these skirts brittle. It doesn't. They're still stretchy. They still stink like the, you know, the dead crawdad power bait stuff. Good sharp hook with the little plastic keeper there. Worked well for me. All in all, I liked them. I don't know. Like I said, it's kind of mixed 50-50 down the line, I feel. I liked it, but I guess you'll have to try it for yourself. Also got some of the Fire Craw, that orange red, again for spring. It's got the black bill. Blade, I guess. And then kind of a unique color. I don't know that there's many chatterbaits or, you know, bladed jigs in this. This is Golden Shiner. It's got the tinsel in it, so it gives out that tinsel flash. It's got the gold blade. Just kind of a cool lure. Could probably even mimic, you know, like a bluegill or something in kind of stained water. I like gold and kind of stained water when it's sunny out. So that's just kind of a neat color, and I like that they paint the heads too. It's got the, you know, the tricolor, different color head. Kind of a neat lure. Now I knocked down, I also re-upped on some hooks. This is a 5/0 for some frogs. I use their Flappin' Frog, this thing, the kicky legs. I use these on the back of like a buzz bait, but running them by themselves, I like these that have just a little bit of weight to keel that hook out to make sure it's gonna run belly down and straight for you so those hooks stay right up on top. And it's not much weight on there at all. With the plastic, once you start running it, it's either like an 1/8 or 1/16, something like that. Once you start reeling it in, it stays on top really well, so it's not like it sinks like a bullet. Since I was getting stuff 50% off, I also re-upped on some hooks. If you order any swim baits from me, I'm going to look to have some up on the site soon. You might even get these because I got some size 1s on some of my swim baits. These will work great. The Berkley Fusion hooks are really nice, and these are the 3X strong. Be good on some of those heavier lures. And then also got some of the Berkley Fusion dress trebles. If I do some topwater lures, might throw some of these on a batch coming up soon. Okay, let's do a new plastic. This is the Lil Super Trooper. I got this black powder color, which is like a black, almost like a little bit of a gray to it. Regular old standard green pumpkin. And what I think will work the best around here, rusty craw. We've got a bunch of rusty craws in the lakes around here. They're an invasive species, but a lot of our crawdads or crawfish around here have that kind of brownish red with like, ours will have like a blue on them with like the tips of the claws will be this orange. So it's got the blue and orange fake flakes in there to mimic that. The bottom is a little bit lighter, just like ours. It'll have kind of a tan, almost like a greenish on some of them on the bottom. But I think this one, for me around here, is going to work the best. Now, this will be a little Ned rig lure, and you can see on these little deals, it's almost like a tiny little, rage craw looking deal. They've got those flanges. Every company kind of has their own spin on that because it works so well. It really kicks and flaps those. This is, of course, in the Power Bait Max scent. Smells like dead pigskin with vinegar. I don't even know what you call it. So these I will definitely throw on a Ned rig, but I also got some of their Finesse jigs. I do really like these Finesse jigs. Threw these around. Good head shape. Let me take it out. Good head shape on it. It's kind of that archy style, rounded, good for flipping, pitching around stuff. As you drag this up over wood, that line tie rides just like that. It sits on bottom pretty well, and that's kind of what I'm going to do with this. Kind of an all-purpose flip and jig, from the bank. If I want to swim it, you can swim it. But it's a little 1/4 ounce like this. You just get hung up a lot less when you go to a lighter jig like this from the bank. Because remember, you're dragging this uphill once you get it to you. It's not like in a boat where you're casting out shallow and this is running down, bringing it back out to you on the boat. So I'm going to separate the front and back of the skirt, trim the back so it's about even with the hook shank, let that front part fall back. I'm going to trim it just a little bit longer, 1/4 inch longer maybe. That way you can still see the two different lengths of the skirt. But if I grab this little craw, thread it on there, and how about that for a little finesse jig? Cut my skirt shorter so those claws stick out past the skirt. You can see that movement when it's dropping down, dragging it back there. These claws are floating around. Good compact little finesse jig. I don't think I'll have any problems getting a few bites on that baby. That color they call Blue Oyster, kind of like the Okeechobee craw. We have the craws with the blue, so I like that. And then this one, actually called Blue Craw. So it's like your green pumpkin with that iridescent blue in it. It's got some like black stripes. Cool looking jig too. 1/4 ounce I got in those. It's got a good sharp 4/0 fusion hook. I really like those fusion hooks. I owe Berkley an apology. They're good. Sticking with some craws, I got another new craw of theirs called Shape 108. I don't know if it has like an actual name coming for it. Do any of these other ones? No, it just says Shape 108. They have different sizes of these. The 3.5 inch, I'll show you the other ones. This is the 3.5 inch in the goat color. And as soon as I saw this, reminds me of the Tramp Stamp and Reaction Innovations, that like black with greenish blue on top. Flip it over, green pumpkin on the bottom. I love these two-tone colors. Cool looking little lure, and you can see very aggressive claw, flange, flap, whatever you want to call it there, up on front. And again, pretty big claws. So once you get this on a jig, it's really going to have a wavy, flappy, kicking action on it. The rest of the craw up here is pretty minimal. So, Texas rigging this, I'm thinking jig trailer. This is going to look sweet. This is the Labatt Blue. I kind of chuckled at that, but this is the larger 4 inch versus the smaller 3.5 inch. You can see the size of those. That's a meaty craw there. Also got that 4 inch in watermelon, and then got that 4 inch in bluegill flash. Interesting color. If you've got a place with a bunch of bluegill, I think just flipping this around is a Texas rig. It's got the gold in it. It's got the blue, kind of that smoky color. You can see it's kind of translucent on the claws. Good bluegill imitation, maybe even if it had like a little orange or chartreuse up here on the top. But either way, flipping this around to mimic a bluegill, I think will work pretty darn cool. Okay, I had to move some stuff around. Last up, they also come in a 3 inch. Now I got that goat color again. Really like that one. I think that's going to be my normal pick. But they also have the Okeechobee craw. Of course, my buddy at Randizzle is a huge fan of the Okeechobee craw color. Likes that on a finesse jig, just so you can see. 3 versus 3.5 inch versus 4. So definitely a noticeable size difference there. Each one I think will have their place. Also, you can control how fast or slow a jig will fall. So if you have a 1/2 ounce jig with like a straight pork trailer on it, it's going to fall a lot faster than if you were to put a larger, flappier kicking plastic like this that's going to have more resistance. You can change how fast or slow that jig will fall with just changing your plastic. Okay, a new one for me. I don't know how new these are, and I don't know if these are more like a saltwater deal or what, but I saw them, and this is actually the color that was on the front screen that caught my eye. blown motor. This is like the old school this open motor oil color, which I loved throwing when I was a kid. I had so many plastics in this. I don't know how well it's going to show up in the camera, but it'll be like this brown, like iridescent, almost see-through-y green in different lights. Motor oil when I was a kid was huge. You don't see it as much now anymore, but kind of a cool deal. It's a ribbed swim bait body. In the back of it, it's got like a little small paddle tail here held together with just that small piece of plastic. So I imagine that's going to have a lot of kicking action back there. This should trap and move water. Again, they call it the bonefish. Kind of looks like a bone skeleton fish there, kind of cool. I also got the gold cracker chartreuse. To me, it looks pretty bluegilly or, you know, panfishy, sunfish type. Clear with some black and orange different flakes, chartreuse tail. And last up is electric blue white. So you can see it's kind of that almost black and blue, you know, old school plastic color with more of a purple kind of plum in there. And then that pearl tail, good contrast to it. Interesting looking lure. I don't know how new they are. They were new to me. I don't remember ever seeing these, so picked them up, see if they catch anything. Okay, another soft plastic came out last year. This was kind of I feel like a love or hate with a lot of people too. The Power Stinger, 3.5 inch, and this is meant to go on back of the this guy here, the slobber knocker. But you could use this on chatterbaits, any sort of vibrating jig, 3.5 inches. This is the electric shad color. When I got them, I think all I was able to get my hands on was a pack of green pumpkin, but this electric shad looks cool. And then inside here, it's like little honeycomb holes. So these are like little holes in the plastic, kind of like a honeycomb pattern. But you can see what it does to that tail. It really makes that tail move and want to go back and forth. And on the back of a bladed jig, this is going to be moving with that bladed jig as it vibrates and goes back and forth. Not a big, huge, strong paddle tail that's going to work, you know, against the bladed jig. And I'm a big fan of paddle tails on bladed jigs, as long as they're, you know, a smaller, not big, intrusive, big, huge, wide kicking tail. So I still like paddle tails, but you know, a lot of these non-paddling kind of straight tail type plastics are really getting popular. And for me, that was a fluke. I threw a fluke on the back of a chatterbait for the longest time. So trying some of these newer plastics, checking these out, you know, like the Gary Yamamoto Zaco, some of those. Really cool, really popular, and I think they did some good colors in this. They've also got the sungill, great sunfish bluegill imitation. They've got the watermelon copper orange. I might trim the skirt up a little bit, but oh yeah, I think we can work with that. I don't see any reason that's not getting bit this spring. And then last in those, I also got some pearl white. Okay, last up for the lures, we've got another newer lure. This is called the Money Badger. Now it comes in a number of different sizes. I don't know if I got all the sizes. I kind of grabbed a couple of each, but this is the Money Badger 4. Little dude, only 1/5 of an ounce, goes 4 to 7 feet, slow rise, and does have a rattle in it. Now you can see these are meant to have that aggressive, you know, that balsa kind of hunting type action. Cast farther, you know, with the balls in there instead of being a balsa. That can be the problem with those, is they can be so light. They can kind of be a pain in the butt to cast. So that's what Berkley's done with these, kind of like the Fritz side, you know, to mimic a flat-sided balsa type deal, you know, but with the weights and stuff in them, even not the click and just the regular. Cast really well, just overall a little bit more manageable. So I think Berkley did a really good job with that. I'm interested to see what these do. So in this 4 size, I got that special red craw, red with kind of orange on the belly, and then this pink pearl, which is like a pearl side, pink top and belly. It's got kind of some purple around the eyes. Couple small ones of those for some small lakes and ponds around here if I've got spots that are deep enough. Moving up from there, we've got the Money Badger size 5, a little bit larger overall. You can see 8 to 10 foot diving depth, 1/4 of an ounce. Still that clicking sound to it, a little bit bigger. This is Blaze, they call that color, and it's got the like the color change, blue, purple, like kind of some of the Mega Bass jerkbaits the 110s have, but that fiery kind of fire tiger pattern with just orange really is all it is. Kind of a light orange on the belly, neat color. And then we move up to the 6.25. 9 to 11 feet, 1/3 of an ounce. This color they call Ghost Morning Dawn, and this like that ghost minnow, ghost shaddy kind of look works really well for me around here in the clear, cleaner water that we have. Often happens, you know, in the summer when it gets a bunch of vegetation. But I think out of all the sizes, this is probably going to be my favorite, this 6.25. Really, for me, deep, quote unquote, deep fishing is really 10 feet. Like 10 feet is my deep. I don't fish a ton beyond that, like deep cranking 25, 30 feet. This is for me deep. If I'm going to fish deep, it's like 10 foot. I know I'm kind of hindering myself and I should fish deeper, but I just don't have confidence in it. But I like this, and I like the size, overall profile it. You can see the bill there, kind of that rounded bill. It's supposed to bang and, you know, act kind of erratic off stuff. So we'll see. I grabbed the next size up, 6.75, and I meant to grab this gold color in the 6.25. This is the exact same color I was catching them on the Berkley Stunna this fall, this gold, black back, orange belly. You can see the whole profile there, the shape of that bill, you know, the line ties out here to get it deeper, the shape of the lure overall, not quite a flat side, but interesting look to it, kind of how it tapers down to the back. Same this way, it kind of tapers down to a point. Also got Corey's Candy. Of course, I'm going to be picking up a purple and black. That thing's sweet. Oh, pink on the belly. And then kind of a sexy shad. This one they call Purple Glimmer, kind of a purpley blue with some chartreuse in it. And then last I got the 7.25, so 11 to 13 feet. So you can see they're all similar. 3/5 of an ounce, just different diving depths, a little bit larger size. There's the 4 versus the 7.25. There's a little bit of a size difference. And that one is the FX shad color. Awesome, just, you know, kind of generic shad looking color for your shad lakes. Oh, you know what? Didn't even have enough time to go over the gear. I ordered some gear from him too. We'll do a separate video on those. All right, fishing friends, do me a favor, comment below and let me know out of all those, what are you the most excited to see me use? Of course, it's still winter, so it's going to be a little while, but I think some of these are definitely going to be good lures for next year. I know some of them are kind of on the fence for people, but also got that gear review unboxing kind of deal coming soon, so that should be a lot of fun. But anyway, comment below and let me know what you think. Today's subscribed fishing friend is Mr. John Frank. I appreciate the heck out of him. He's been a subscribed supporter, fishing friend for a long time. Him and everybody else who continues to support me, I can't tell you all how much it means. So thank you all for watching, and until next time.